Hi everyone, welcome back. Today we are going to be doing this look based off of Mewtwo, and we will be going over the case of Dee Blanchard and Gypsy Rose. Disclaimer: this case is going to be a little violent, and there's also mentioning of some sexual things that some people might not like, so I want to put that out now, and you can always skip over those. When Gypsy was little, she was diagnosed with a whole bunch of different diseases like leukemia, muscle dystrophy, and like a whole bunch of other things, but she didn't actually have those things. Like, she could eat, not with a feeding tube, she can hear, she could talk fine, she could do everything like a normal kid could do, and that's because she was diagnosed with Munchausen syndrome by proxy, and this is pretty much why Gypsy rearranged to kill her mother, and that's when she met Nick. She met him through a Christian dating site, and she let him know, like, oh, this was all going to be done, like what was going on, and she pretty much just fell over heels for Nick, and that's how that started. She didn't originally want to kill her mother, but it came to the point where she actually had to, because she was being physically and emotionally abused by her mother. She would smack her, she would hit her, she would tie her up and stuff like that. That's why Gypsy was really afraid to tell anybody that she didn't have these things that she had. And it originally started that she got in a motorcycle accident, she got hurt, and that's why she was put in a wheelchair, and then Dee Dee played it off as muscle dysmorphia. And apparently she changed her birth year like 3 times. She was born in 1991, but then she came to say that she was born in 1995. And that's why she was always talking in a high pitch, and then she came up that she was born so early that she has a mental, her brain pretty much thinks she's 7 years old. And that's why she was always with, like, toys and other things like that. But I also want to talk about the act, which was based off her story and life, kind of. Even though she really was not a part of this, none of the family was. They were trying to get a part of it, but the company wouldn't allow it. But there was a lot of things they did get right in the show. There was a lot of things they didn't get wrong, that they got wrong in the show. But I also want to be clear that they also mentioned in each episode that it was dramatized. Some characters were, some story parts were too, but they definitely got the father wrong. She always had contact with her father. She knew she had a father, where in the act she didn't know she had a father, and even though they kind of fixed that at the last episode, but it's a whole different thing. And then they also said that she fell off a trampoline, and that's why she went into a wheelchair, when it was not. Like I said, it was a motorcycle accident when she was like 10. And what else? They kind of didn't get Nick Dudegon right. He mainly was really weirder. He wasn't very, very nice to Gypsy. He would force her to do things she wasn't really comfortable with, but she went along with it because she never really had a relationship. So she didn't know that wasn't what a relationship was. And in the show, when they got arrested, the police was talking to Nick. in the interview, and they mentioned if he wanted to rape Dee Dee and did all these other things, but he said no, like he didn't want to either. But in the real case, he actually wanted to, but Gypsy and him came to agreement that Gypsy would afterwards instead of her mom, because she didn't want that to happen to her mom. So, and they also got wrong that, oh, what else? But they got a lot of things right, like, they pretty much got everything right, pretty much, besides, the lawyer. Her lawyer was a man in real life, not a woman, and like they had in the show, which I thought was really odd that they would do that. But then again, woman empowerment. But I think Joey King actually did a phenomenal job, because she got the high-pitched voice like Gypsy, and I thought that was really cool that she like tried to do that. And also Patricia Applegate did like amazing in the show. I thought the show was was good. Nonetheless, no, not even though they got some things wrong, but they did mention that some things were dramatized. But this case in itself is just ridiculous because of what Dee Dee was doing to her own child. But she mainly just wanted all the attention and all the money, because that's what Dee Dee was. She did stuff for her father, that she like put in fake checks and they bounced, and it was like through it was her father's checks, and she got arrested for that. She pretty much killed her mother too. She like was getting sick and Dee Dee wouldn't feed her at all, and she pretty much just killed her. She tried to kill her stepmom, I think, too, which is it's very odd, but that's how Dee Dee was. Dee Dee was so like wrapped up in this weird world. She would like steal. In the documentary Mother Dearest, Dead Dearest, her father, Dee Dee's father, mentioned that like right before they got married, she like stole a crap ton of things, which is so weird. But I know, me being a mother and knowing that this is a thing and that people are doing this to their children, seriously just irks my soul, because like I'm a mom of 2 daughters and I could never do that for attention. Put my daughter through diseases, like saying that she had diseases and giving her medication that they don't need to like ruin their bodies. That's why Gypsy's teeth pretty much fell out. They had to do surgery. They got rid of the glands because she was taking medicine, I think, for the leukemia, and it just rotted her teeth because she didn't need it, because she didn't have leukemia. And that's why they also shaved her, like Dee Dee shaved her head, because she was like, oh, your hair's just gonna fall out anyway, so let's just keep it maintained and stuff like that, which is like, no. But I just really don't like it. She was charged for 2nd-degree murder in, I think, 2016. And she was given 10 years, and she is able to get parole in 2014, which is in, like, 2024, I am sorry. And that's, like, in, like, 3 years. So I think that's cool. I can go over all the medical diagnostics that she had, which would be asthma, epilepsy, hearing and feeding impaired. That's why she had the feeding tube, the GI reflex, this one with a Q that I cannot pronounce, and then the muscular dystrophy, amnesia, hyperactivation, a whole bunch of allergies, mild mental retardation. I don't like saying that word, but it's a thing. That's why she was given that she was 7 years old when she was she's like a year older than me. Like, she'll be 30 this year. It's crazy. She also apparently had leukemia, incontinence, lung disease, and a heart murmur. But, like, I can't say anything wrong about the heart murmur, because I myself had a mild heart murmur, which was, like, very low. Like, it's not even there anymore. Paige had one. She had the same one as I. It was, like, very faint. You can barely hear it, but it was there. And it won't last long. So I can't say that she didn't have that, because, like, some people can't hear it because how faint it is. But you also could hear it if you listen for it correctly. But I can't say that she was lying about that, because it's really hard to lie about that, really. The only thing is that she had, like, so many surgeries that it's just outstanding. Like, well, not outstanding. It's like, I can't think of the word. It's, like, ridiculous. Because, like, they did there was a doctor who was falling for her tricks, Dee Dee's tricks. He went through, he reported it, so someone came out and looked for Dee Dee, and Dee Dee manipulated them to leave, because apparently everything was fine, even though it wasn't. But that's what she did. She manipulated a lot of people. She was a nurse, so that's why she was allowed to get away with a lot of this stuff, because she knew a lot of the symptoms and what medication she needed, even though she didn't need it. But, yeah, there was a doctor that, like, was falling for her tricks, but they, like, never fully did anything after that. But it went on for so many years, and just, they had so many surgeries, and, like, how can doctors just do that, even though they technically didn't need it? Because, like, the one doctor in the documentary, the Mommy Dearest, Dead Dearest, he mentioned, like, she had so much muscles in her legs, even though, like, apparently she couldn't walk. But Dee Dee played it off as, like, oh, she can walk, but it's just so hard for her that she just doesn't do it a lot. And the doctor was like, she has so much muscle on her legs, there's no way that she can't walk. And it's just, it baffles me that she had so many surgeries. But the initial plan was for Gypsy and Nick was to run away together, not to kill her mom. That was like a backup plan, really. And so it came to the point where she wanted that to happen, even though she technically didn't want it to happen. She mentioned it to Nick. She stated, like, it's time, we need to do it. And then they did it. He came over one night, and she had everything ready. She had the knife and stuff like that. And then she went into the bathroom. She sat in the bathroom, covered her ears, and then that's whenever it happened. And then they left. They traveled to Wisconsin, and they stayed with his mom. And then they got arrested because of the Facebook posts. They tracked it, which I kind of didn't know they could do that, but they did. They posted about Dee Dee's body, because Gypsy wanted her to be found. She didn't want her laying in the house because it was her mom, and she still loved her because she was, like, mentally abused, so she didn't know anything that was going on. And she posted it, and they tracked it. She got arrested in the house, her and Nick, and then they went through the cases, and Nick got sentenced to life for first-degree murder, and like I said, Gypsy was sentenced to 10 years and parole in 2024. So, hopefully you guys enjoyed this case. It's just bonkers all the way around. It's just crazy. So, hopefully you guys liked it. Hopefully you guys liked the look that I did during my Pokemon series. So, hopefully you guys have a fun night. Thank you for listening.